Hello, BayInfotech is an award-winning Cisco partner with strong expertise across multiple domains. BayInfotech leverages its BitPass platform to provide users and partners dozens of hands-on labs without the need for a real kit on-prem. Let's begin by giving you a quick overview about using Python from the very scratch. This video series is going to focus on Python for network engineers. Let's start by giving you the history of Python. Python was developed by Guido van Rossum in the late 80s and early 90s at the National Research Institute for Mathematics and Computer Science in the Netherlands. Python is the most common programming language out there, used by computer programmers. Python is copyrighted. Like Perl, Python source code is now available under the GNU, that is General Public License. Why we need to learn Python? Python is a high-level, interpreted, interactive, and object-oriented scripting language. Python is designed to be highly readable. It uses English keywords frequently, whereas other languages use punctuation. And it has fewer syntactical constructions than other languages. Python is interpreted. What we mean is Python is processed. Python is interpreted. Python is processed at runtime by the interpreter. You do not need to compile your program before executing it. This is similar to Perl and PHP. Python is interpreted. Python is processed at runtime by the interpreter. You do not need to compile your program before executing it. This is similar to Perl and PHP. Python is interactive. You can usually sit at a Python prompt and interact with the interpreter directly to write your programs. How is Python object-oriented? Python supports object-oriented style or technique of programming that encapsulates code within objects. Python is a beginner's language because it's a great language for the beginner level programmers and supports the development of a wide range of applications, from simple text processing to www browsers to games. Let's look at a few features of Python. Easy to learn. Python has a few keywords, simple structure, and a clearly defined syntax. This allows the student to pick up the language quickly. Easy to read. Python code is more clearly defined and visible to the eyes. Easy to maintain. Python source code is fairly easy to maintain. Support of a broad standard library. Python's bulk of the library is very portable and cross-platform, compatible on Unix, Windows, and Macintosh. Interactive mode. Python has support for an interactive mode, which allows interactive testing and debugging of snippets of code. Python is portable. It can run on a wide variety of hardware platforms and has the same interface on all platforms. Extendable. You can add low-level modules to the Python interpreter. These modules enable programmers to add or customize their tools to be more efficient. Databases. Python provides interfaces to all major commercial databases. GUI programming. Python supports GUI applications that can be created and ported to many system calls, libraries, and window systems, such as Windows MFC, Macintosh, and the X window system of Unix. Let's have a look at the characteristics of Python. Well, Python, it supports functional and structured programming methods, as well as OOP. It can be used as a scripting language or can be compiled to bytecode for building large applications. It provides very high level dynamic data types and supports dynamic type checking. It supports automatic garbage collection. It can be easily integrated with C, C++, COM, ActiveX, Corpa, and Java. Python execution engine exists on most of the Linux distribution, including your CSR and Nexus. Cisco has also been putting Python on their network devices by default and releasing many tools using Python. Let's look at the versions of Python. The version 1 is nothing but Python 2. Let's look at the versions in Python. You have Python 2, that is version 2, and Python 3, which is version 3. Python 2 is no longer active. Python 2 is no longer in active development, but still supported by Python community. Python 2 has a better library support, installed by default on Linux and Mac machines, supports on the NXOS platform. Talking about Python 3, it is in active development, a lot easier from syntax and execution perspective. It is a major upgrade from Python 2, wherein all the major issues and concerns have been ironed out. One important thing to keep in mind is it is not backward compatible. We have two ways of executing a Python script. That is one using the Python dynamic interpreter, example shell, then using IDE, which is your integrated development environment. Example is your Microsoft VS Code. Now let's go ahead and see installation of Python. So I have gone ahead and typed Python here. We go to this following screen, which is python.org. Click here. Then we go to downloads. You'll see here Python, download Python 3.9.5. I've clicked that as well. We'll go ahead and open the execution file. Make sure we go ahead and select the following option, add Python 3.9 to path. The only reason is why we're doing that is if you do not do this, your command prompt will not identify Python as an executable file. So you need to check that and then install it. So we've gone ahead and checked that and install now. Yes. So that is one thing that I wanted to go ahead and show, that you need to make sure you select. One thing that I wanted to show is that you need to make sure that you go ahead and select this option, which I've gone ahead and showed. In the next video, what we're going to see is the types of variables and data types, and we will be starting to use the dynamic interpreter, that is Python shell, now that we have successfully installed Python, right? So now that we have covered the fundamentals of Python, stay tuned for more videos to follow. And if you're interested in how BitPass can help you and your team learn about Python, or one of the many SD-WAN labs, now that we've covered the fundamentals of Python, stay tuned for more videos to follow. If you're interested in how BitPass can help you and your team learn about Python, or one of the many SD-WAN labs within BitPass, please reach out to your BayInfotech representative. Thank you.